Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down the big topics into stuff you can actually use. Let's just dive right in.
So let's talk about FastAPI. It's one of the fastest growing web frameworks for Python, and if you're in the dev world, you have absolutely heard the buzz. The big question is, why? What's the deal? Let's get into it. All right, first things first. Let's talk about the #1 reason people get excited about FastAPI. It is just incredibly fast. And when I say fast, I don't mean it's just a little bit quicker. No, this is a core design principle. The whole thing was built from the ground up for high-performance APIs that have to handle a ton of requests without breaking a sweat. I mean, just look at this. We're not just talking fast for Python. That's the key thing here. FastAPI is putting up numbers that are on par with Node.js and Go. Yeah, those languages, the ones that are famous for their raw speed. So how does it pull this off? What's the magic trick? Well, it's actually pretty smart. It doesn't try to reinvent everything. Instead, it stands on the shoulders of giants. It uses two powerhouse libraries, Starlette for all the heavy lifting on the website, and Pydantic for data validation. That combo is the secret sauce, the engine that makes it all go.
Okay, so it's fast. That's huge. But in the modern web, speed isn't the whole story, right? You also need to handle a bunch of things happening all at once. And that brings us to our second point, concurrency.
So what do we even mean by asynchronous or async? Think of it like a cook in a kitchen. A traditional program is like a cook who has to fully prepare, cook, and plate one dish before even thinking about the next. An async program is like a great chef who's got stuff simmering on the stove, something else chopping on the board, and another thing in the oven, all at the same time. It's way more efficient, and for web services, it's absolutely essential. And here's the really important part about FastAPI. Async isn't some feature they tacked on later. Nope. It was designed with async in mind from day one. It's baked right into its DNA, which makes writing concurrent code feel totally natural, not like you're fighting the framework.
And what this means for you, practically, is pretty amazing. Your app can take in a whole flood of requests all at once and just handle them. It doesn't get blocked waiting for one thing to finish. The result? You can build these super scalable, super responsive applications without all the usual headaches and complexity. All right, we've got speed, we've got async. But now, let's talk about what might just be the killer feature. The one thing that makes developers go, wow. It solves one of the biggest, most annoying problems we all face, documentation. Just think about this for a second. The moment you write your code for an endpoint, boom, FastAPI has already created interactive documentation for you. You don't have to do it as a separate step. It's automatic, which means it's never out of date. This is a game changer.
And you don't just get one set of docs, you get two, right out of the box. You get Swagger UI, which is fantastic because you can actually play with and test your API right there in the browser. And you also get ReDoc, which gives you this beautiful, clean, readable documentation that's perfect for sharing with the rest of your team. Okay, so let's recap. We have insane speed, async built in from the ground up, and docs that literally write themselves. That is a seriously powerful combo. But the question is, does it make things super complicated? And the answer is no. Which brings us to the bottom line, the actual experience of using it.
And this is where it all comes together. The beauty of FastAPI is that you don't have to learn some weird new syntax. You just use standard, modern Python type hints. You know, the stuff that's been in Python for a while now. If you're comfortable with modern Python, you're going to feel right at home with FastAPI, like immediately.
And those simple type hints are the magic that unlocks everything else. Because you've defined the data types, FastAPI just takes over. It handles all the data validation, it handles serializing your data in the JSON, and, like we said, it generates those amazing docs. You end up writing so much less boilerplate code, which means fewer bugs, and you can just build things way, way faster.
So when you put it all together, that's really why FastAPI stands out. You get that blazing speed, the async-first design, the automatic docs, and it's all wrapped up in simple, clean, Pythonic code. It's the whole package.
And it's this unique mix of raw power and just being really pleasant to work with that makes it so versatile. You can use it to build a massive production-grade API, but it's also perfect for just spinning up a quick prototype over a weekend. It scales to whatever you need.
So here's the final thought. The next time you're starting a project and you know you're going to need speed, you're going to need to scale, and you just don't want to deal with writing docs by hand, is FastAPI the answer? Well, after everything we've just covered, it's definitely a question worth asking.